Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mackenzie, and today I have some updates for you guys, and then we are going to walk through one of my favorite rooms in the house, which is our home gym, and everything that we put into it and kind of what went into making that such a wonderful space for us to use, and I'm excited to go through that with you guys today. Okay, so update number one, if you watched my last video, if you haven't, please go watch it. I got some really small mics that I was so excited about and quickly found out that while they were cute, they were not functional at all and actually did not work with my camera. They advertised that they were going to, but when I plugged in the audio, it was just, I had so much feedback from it. It sounded like when you're at a concert or if you're at like an event or something and you get that really loud like ee noise that happens. I was getting way too much feedback. So anyways, those went back to Amazon today. Please don't buy those unless you just want them to use on your phone, which is what I did, and I overlaid the audio and that was fine. But if you're wanting a mic for your camera, don't suggest those. But I did end up getting this Movo mic and it is compatible with my camera. I did a test this morning. I had no feedback. And I will say the quality sounded a lot better, so I hope that that makes editing this video a lot easier and it will make the sound a lot better as well. And then update number two is that today is a football day and we are Kansas City Chiefs fans, so I'm very excited to watch that game later. And I hope that I'll have this up by today so that we can either be celebrating together or we'll see where it ends up. But obviously I want them to go to the Super Bowl again. And I don't know if you guys are Taylor Swift fans at all, but she pulled all of her Reputation songs off of Spotify and Apple Music. So something is in the air, but I'm just saying that if Travis goes to the Super Bowl and she's also releasing Rep TV, I might pass out. That's all. So anyways, I wanted to show you guys, like I said, my favorite room in the house today. And when we moved into this house, it was a little bit over a year ago, and we were going to the gym when we first moved here. The gym for us, there's closer gyms, but we were using the YMCA and it was about 15 minutes away. We were packing all of our stuff to go to the gym in the morning. We would work out, we'd shower, get ready at the gym for work, and then go straight to work. And while I feel like that works for some people, it was quickly taking a toll on us. That is exhausting to do over and over again every single day. And then there would be days that we would sleep in and not go to the gym, or there would be days that it was cold and raining or whatever and we would stay home. So then it was like, well, I stayed home for work, so I'm not going to go to the gym. So there was just a lot of that happening. And I remember we were talking about, well, what if we just got, a couple, like a treadmill or a treadmill and like an elliptical or something that we could both use. And so we kind of flipped that idea around, and then we were wanting to maybe have some walking pads so that we could walk while we watched shows or something. But ultimately that kind of spiraled into the room that I'm going to show you today, and I am just obsessed with it. It's made everything so much more convenient in terms of being able to stick to a consistent workout plan. I now at least work out 4 times a week, sometimes 5. And then I ride horses in my spare time too. So I'm definitely getting a lot more activity in. And it's a space that Jeff and I can use either together or separately. And I feel like that's what's made it so functional for us. So let's get into it. Okay, now we are in the gym room and behind me is our squat rack. But before I get to that, I want to tell you guys kind of what we did at first to get this room going. So like I said, we moved into our home. It was a pretty new house. It's a 2021 and we moved into it a little bit over a year ago. And so it came with 4 bedrooms, and we, like I said, we were going to the gym at first and we just thought maybe we could have something a little bit more functional at home just for those days that we didn't want to sleep in, or if it was too cold outside or we weren't going to work, just to come downstairs basically and be able to work out. And so when we started looking into equipment, we knew that we wanted to get equipment that was sizable for this space, because this is a room. It's not meant to be something that's super huge or really something that's supposed to be used as a full gym anyways. And so we had to kind of be strategic about what equipment we put in here to not make it take up the whole space, because I feel like with gym equipment, you can quickly get really big equipment that just takes up the whole room and then it wouldn't have been functional for us anymore. So So the first thing that we started with this room was taking out the carpet. We took out all the carpet that you can see. I'm gonna try to show you underneath me. And we put in this gym flooring here. And there's a lot of different options for what that looks like in terms of flooring. But the cheapest and honestly, I would say most durable option that we found over and over again was using a horse stall mat. I know, that sounds crazy. But coming from the horse world, actually, I know how sturdy these things can be. They typically, obviously horses can be anywhere from 1,200 pounds to over 2,000 pounds, and they go in their stalls and they step on them all day long. They endure the muck and things like that in the stalls. And so when we found that was going to be a pretty good flooring option for us, we actually were able to find them at a local feed store to us, because obviously people that have horses or whatever are buying them from there. And they're very affordable, I will say. We needed about 9 mats total for this space. And we had to cut some of them up a little bit just to make them fit. They flush up together really well. And this gym is actually downstairs for us. It's in our basement. We actually have a view out basement, so there is light in here that you see. Some basements in Kansas are full basements, some are view outs, and then some are walkouts. So we still get some natural light in here, which is really nice, but it is on our main floor. And so because of that, or it's on our foundation floor, excuse me. So because of that, if you drop weights or anything down here, it's not gonna make a super loud noise. And then also because we have these cushion mats too, it helps absorb any shock, so we're not hurting the concrete that's underneath us. So once we got all the carpet out of here and started looking into those flooring options and landed on horse stall mats, we then had to get them inside. And I will say that they're pretty heavy. They're about 100 pounds a piece. It's not for the faint of heart. And we had to get them downstairs, but luckily we are able to walk around and bring them inside. I also will say that there's a lot of reviews that they would have a little bit of a smell to them, a rubber smell. And so one way that we kind of got around that was we aired them out on our driveway. So they were outside for a few days just to kind of alleviate any of that rubbery smell that was there when we bought them. And then when we brought them inside, I will say for maybe like a month or two, they still had a little bit of that smell to them, but we just popped an air freshener down here. We keep the door open, and since then, I honestly don't even notice it anymore, but I will say it took about 2 months for that to fully go away, but it was never unbearable to the point where you felt like you couldn't be in here. We were definitely still able to use this space during that time, but I would highly recommend, if you're going with something like this, to air them out, just to give them a little bit of time to breathe before you bring them inside, because they are made of rubber and they might have a little bit of a strong smell to them. Okay, so once we got all the flooring down, the next thing that we needed to figure out for ourselves was, what did we want the space to look like? Were we wanting to just be able to come down here and do cardio? Were we wanting to come down here and do yoga? Were we wanting to come down here and do any workout we could think of? And I feel like we landed on the latter, and I'm so grateful that we did, because honestly, this space we can run down here on our treadmill, we can come down here and do yoga, we can work out on our weight system that you see behind me. And I feel like it's made our workouts so much more flexible and has gotten us away from needing a gym membership in totality, just because we can come down here and do any workout that we want. And I've really loved the convenience of that. So the weight system that you see behind me is from Major Fitness. It's the F35 squat rack. And the reason it's so cool and so perfect for a small space like this is, if you see at the bottom, it actually has a wheel system. So if we wanted to, we could span these wings and flatten it all the way up against the wall. And I think that that is so important. And we thought that that was so important in a space like ours that was just designated to be a bedroom. Again, we were trying to fit as much as we could down here and try to make it as full of a gym as we could with a small amount of space. And I would highly recommend this also, just because it's not very deep, and so it doesn't come out to the floor very far. And I think that that was pretty hard to find in a squat rack, just because a lot of them are pretty deep. Obviously, they're usually like a big cage, just because they have to support a lot of weight. The reason this one does not have to be very deep is because it's bolted into the studs behind that in the wall. And so that just takes way less room in this room. So that's really nice. And this one also is multifunctional. So it has 2 cable systems here and here. And then it also has a landmine at the base of it. And it came with all the attachments necessary for lat pull down. It came with the landmine row. It came with, any of the, tricep rope, this guy. It came with like 10 different attachments. So that was nice too, just because it came with all that stuff. But then we were like, how do we, what kind of weights do we want for this system? And bumper plates can get pretty expensive pretty quickly, I will say. But we found a really nice company that's really affordable called Homegrown, and I'll show you right now. So this is just a 15-pound plate, but this is what it looks like. It has a little bit of the speckling on it, and all of their weights are different colored speckles like that. So they have a little bit of character to them, which I really like, and they were really affordable. But we got the 350-pound set, so that means that it came with 4 45-pound weights, 2 35-pound weights, 2 25s, 2 15s, and 2 10s. And so again, we can load this barbell up as much as we want to or as little as we want to. This one weighs 45 pounds. And just because Jeff and I obviously lift different weights, it was really nice because now we have an array of weights. So I can lift lighter if I need to, or he can lift super heavy if he wants to. And so that's really made it a nice space for us. Okay, so the other super cool thing that Homegrown offers is the interchangeable dumbbell. And that is what this looks like. And honestly, when we started looking, a dumbbell rack is so hard to decide on because, you can get a 5 to a 50-pound rack. You can get, a 15 to 100-pound rack. You can get a 5 to 100-pound rack. But ultimately, we were probably going to be coming back to some of the same weights. Like for myself, I don't ever really use a 100-pound dumbbell, and Jeff probably wouldn't either. And so we felt like if we got a full rack, that there was going to be some weights on there that we weren't using, and therefore it wasn't the best bang for our buck. But that's why these are so nice, because each one of these is about 10 pounds already. So there's a 10-pound dumbbell. It comes with a set of 2, so you get 2 of these. And then you can pick the weights that come with it. We got the 55-pound set. And basically it's just a bunch of 5-pound plates like this one. And so you can make it, I can easily make it 15. I can put another one on, make it 20. And you can load it up as much as you want. And then it also comes with 5 2.5-pound weights. So if I'm not quite ready to move up a full 5 pounds, I can just put a 2.5er on. And that's a 2.5-pound plate. So they're a little bit more thin, but they're not flimsy at all. Like I can't even bend this, so they're very good quality, I will say, even just for the really thin weights. And I mean, you can even throw these on the main barbell too, which is really nice if, if I'm lifting, let's say I'm squatting 75 pounds or 100 pounds, but I'm not quite ready to do a big jump up in weight, then I can just throw a 5-pound on and just kind of slowly up my weight that way as well. So it's nice that they work on the dumbbells as well as the main barbell that's behind me. Okay, so once we found our rack and our weights, the next thing that we had to decide upon was some sort of bench that was pretty flexible, but also compact, because again, this is a small space. We don't want a bunch of equipment laying out all the time. We want to be able to put it away. So we found this bench. It's the Bench 1000 Pro, and I think it's by Kepi Fitness is what it says on the bottom. And so it has these leg attachments that you can take off if you want. We can just pop those in the closet, but that helps you do like a declined ab workout, or you can do some different leg workouts and stuff with it. And then you can also fully set it up. So what's nice about that is sometimes when I'm in here and I want to use this floor space is that I can just roll it away really easily and then put it up, and then I have this whole floor space. And I feel like that was something for a home gym that was really needed. And it's nice and balanced. It's, you definitely couldn't knock this thing over if you wanted to. It's super heavy, and I feel like just a really solid bench for a home gym. Okay, so now that we've gone through our weight rack, our bumper plates, our dumbbells, and our bench, the next thing is just kind of some organization around here. In a home gym, you definitely don't want to be walking down here and tripping over big weights or having to just throw them up against the wall every time you're in here. And so we tried to figure out a good storage rack for our bumper plates, and honestly, there are a ton on the market, but my boyfriend is super into woodworking, so he just made us one. So unfortunately, this cannot be purchased. He's actually gotten super into woodworking and is out in our garage as we speak making cabinets. He's made them fully from scratch and they look awesome so far. It's going to be for a coffee bar that we're putting upstairs. So I'm excited to show you guys that on another video. But this has made our weight storage so much better. So this stores our 45-pound plates behind me, our 35, 25, 15, and 10. And then all of our small weights here. So this is our 2.5s that I talked about that go on the dumbbells, and then the 5-pounders are behind there. Okay, so the next thing that we got for the gym was a fitness mat that you see right here. I feel like every good gym needs just a spot to do like ab workouts, stretch, anything like that. And this is just, it's called the RitFit mat, and I believe it's just like a gymnastics mat. Super comfortable. It's like 2 inches thick. So it just makes it really good for any sort of kind of on the floor workout or stretch. And then we did mount a TV here, and that's been really nice because when I'm in here, I can throw on music, or I can put on a YouTube video, or I can put on like a stretch video or workout video and kind of do like more of a yoga or a video fitness situation on that, which is really great. Okay, last but not least in our gym is our treadmill. She was a pretty late addition. You can see her behind me here. I'm not gonna fully show her because the sun is sunning way too hard behind me. But we just added her in December, and I had kind of gotten into running. I ran a half marathon in October. I'm actually running another one in March, and I was just looking for an option for us that I could come down here, or he can come down here and walk, or I can be lifting weights and he can be walking, or vice versa. Something that we could both be in here and kind of be out of each other's way a little bit. And so we found this super compact treadmill. It's a Horizon Fitness. We ended up getting it at Dick's Sporting Goods on a Black Friday sale around Christmas time, and it is just so awesome and honestly so compact. Again, this room, the whole story is just finding things that fit in here and don't take up too much space, because otherwise we would be tripping over each other, or it just wouldn't be ideal to be down here in a compact room. So everything has been very intentional that we've installed in this gym just to make it really functional for 2 people to be down here, or 1 person to be able to get on the treadmill or get off and do some weightlifting. But the treadmill, like I said, is really compact. It fits in the space super nice. And it doesn't take up very much floor room at all, as you can see behind me. And it inclines all the way up to, I think, a 12, which is kind of crazy, a 10, excuse me. And it goes all the way up to 10 miles per hour. It has one of the widest belts that they offer and longest for the compactness that it has. A lot of them just have like a really big upper situation for screens or whatever, and we just didn't need that because we have the TV down here. So we were trying to look for just kind of a low and compact treadmill, but still one that's not just going to break down in a year. We definitely wanted one that was a little bit more quality, but you can get super expensive with treadmills and you can get really low end treadmills, and I would say that one is very middle tier. Okay, that concludes our gym tour. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really love showing you some of the things that we've done in our life to either make eating a little bit easier for us and more sustainable. And something just as simple as having a home gym, I feel like has made us way more consistent in our workouts. It's way more convenient, and I find myself making way less excuses because it's downstairs. If it's snowing outside or cold, I don't have to go outside. I can just come down here and I can dress however I want and do whatever workout I want down here. And I just have really, really loved that flexibility. And so I hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Please like and subscribe and follow along for the next one. I'll see you next time.